In the previous session there, we were talking about the DE stop and the ray step multiplier, and I was explaining how they go hand in hand in terms of quality. All right, where the ray step multiplier is a property that will serve to improve or increase as the ray step multiplier value goes down. It will increase the quality of the DE stop. All right, so they go hand in hand. And like I say, DE stop and ray step multiplier are two of the properties pertaining to ray marching that will have the greatest impact on the quality of your rendering. And certainly the higher the quality of the rendering, the longer it takes to actually render it. Now, my understanding of the Stepwidth Limiter is that it's not really utilized that much. Apparently, from what I could read, the Stepwidth Limiter had a role in the ray, the calculation of the ray. But over time, my understanding is that the original developers of the Mandelbulb3D had improved it so that the Stepwidth Limiter didn't really have much of an impact on quality anymore. The rule of thumb is leave it at 1, and that should be fine. All right. Okay, now let's do this. Let me take you over to a website where you can get a little bit more information on some of these controls. We're going to talk about a few others here in a few minutes or the next session. But let me take you over to the website where the Mandelbulb3D software can be downloaded. All right, so let's do that. All right, okay, there it is right here. Okay. All right, so this is at GitHub. All right, and jot that information down. This is the URL for where this Mandelbulb3D software application can be downloaded and viewed, or the code can actually be viewed right here on the site. All right. Now, what the author has done, let me see if I can get, there we go. What they've done is they have provided a README, a readme.md, that's Git nomenclature. And the author of this, and I'm not clear as to who the author is, actually, the author of this about this README information. But it's helpful. It's informative and it's helpful. So you have the about, all right, and then you have information about installation, zooming and navigating, 3D Navigator, so on and so forth. On calculation, we've been talking about calculation tab. All right, these last couple sessions. Post-processing, we're going to get into all of this stuff eventually. All right, there's your installation, zooming and navigating. We talked a lot about that. 3D Navigator, I think we've covered just about every function in the Navigator in the series, this series. Formulas, all right, we're going to be talking more about formulas too. All right, and here's the calculation tab that we've been talking about. All right, he's talking about the DE stop here. He's talking about the vary DE stop on FOV. All right, so on and so forth. So much of what I'm telling you in this tutorial series is also covered here in this Git README file. Here's some information about coloring. A bunch of very good tips here, actually. All right, there's some internal stuff going on. We're going to be talking about internals. Here's cutting, which is actually taking a 3D Mandelbulb and cutting it, all right, slicing it. Pretty interesting. There's the Julia mode that's over on the navigator. Camera, stereo, oh, you know, the Mandelbulb 3D can actually create stereo images so that you have, it can make a left and a right stereo image that is offset, so that when you use you know, stereo lenses or viewers, you get a sense of depth. And boy, I'll tell you, you know, I have played with that, and this is wow. I mean, if you take a still image and you make it into, you using your Mandelbulb capabilities here, and you make that a stereo, well, my goodness, you got a sense of depth to it. Anyway, that's fun stuff for another time. Post processing, okay. A whole bunch of, here's ambient shadows. You remember talking about those reflections? A lot of good stuff here in this README file. Okay, we talked about loading images and saving, and we're going to be talking about the animation maker, the animation window. We'll be talking about making keyframes. All right, and other pretty cool stuff. You know, I think you can get the sense here that this Mandelbulb 3D software is quite capable. It really is. I mean, you can do some pretty good stuff with this thing. But it's like anything else, you know, the better you know it, the more you can do with it, and certainly the more you work with it, the more experienced you become. At some point, and I'm looking forward to this, I actually want to take you on a little tour of the under the covers, the software code. All right. Now here, these are folders in which you can go into. I don't know. Let's take some core code here. All right, here we go. Okay, let's okay, animation.pas. PAS, by the way, stands for Pascal. And let's see. All right, maybe this one. Buffstream.pascal. If we just kind of go into that, we open that up. So here's code. You see? This is Pascal. All right, code. And this is the header. All right, and here you have variables that are being initialized right here. All right, and here's a constant that's being assigned. The constant is default buffer, and it equals -1. All right, and here's some classes that are being defined. This is a T-filter stream. That's a class. It's been marked as private. Private means that no other class can get in there and modify it. I'm sorry. Protected means it can't be modified by another class. And public here means that any other class can instantiate this class being T-buffer stream, T-filter stream, sorry. All right, there's more constants being defined, and now here you actually get into the classes being constructed, begin. All right, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. This is what we're looking at right here. This is the core code to the Mandelbulb 3D fractal generator that has been made available to the world. Now, can you do anything with this? Well, yes, yes, you can. If you go get the software development environment, what is it? M M M M and Bicardo. Anyway, they currently own the Pascal development environment. They purchased it years ago from, say, Borland. And if you go get that development environment and pay them their fees, then you could crack into this code here and you could modify it and you could recompile it. So yes, you could. You could. Does anybody? Not that I'm aware of. It's expensive to get that software development environment. I tried maybe 6 months ago. I mean, I could have gotten the Pascal development environment, and they were going to give me a really sweet break, and I could buy it for only $1,000, $1,093. Well, it's not that important to me to modify the Mandelbulb 3D software, but I could if I wanted to. All right, but I don't need to. I'd rather build 3D animations and 3D stills, and there really isn't a whole lot I need to modify the software for. I feel that it does everything it needs to do, and I'm quite happy with its current capabilities. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. All right, so as usual, we're over time on this session. When we get back, I'm going to continue to talk about some of these other capabilities which pertain to quality, quality of your image, and of course your rendering time. So more important stuff coming up. I'll see you in the next session.